We're live. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I am good. I am better now that my internet's up and working and ready.
It's a daily struggle for everyone.
And it's like, it's only at those moments where you really, really need it to work at a certain time. So
yeah. But we're here.
We're here. It all happened for a reason.
We're here with our ice spheres.
Oh, wait, I gotta go get mine again because
we're here. I appreciate the rhyme. We're here with our ice sphere. Right, in your beautiful robe. Go get the sphere.
Yeah, she's going. I'm so excited about this. I can't even tell you.
Me too.
I live in my robe. There's nothing else for me to do.
If I had that robe, I would live in it too. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Now my doorbell's ringing. I don't know what's going on out there, but
of course it is.
It's okay. The dogs will handle it.
Nicole, before we freeze our faces, which I can't wait to do, will you tell us your story?
I will. So when I was born, no, I'm kidding. So when the ice sphere story in my story is kind of a crazy one. So I started my skincare studio. I've been an esthetician for 20 years, right?
Wow.
So, which feels like 100 years ago, but yet to say that I've been doing anything for 20 years sounds crazy.
Totally.
Sounds nuts. So I've worked for, I've worked for amazing people, amazing companies, different brands, everything like that. And I've learned so much over the years. I have since opened up my own skincare studio in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Wow.
And it was great. I had my little service business going. I had a nice little wait list, and I was in service, which was what I wanted to do, and ultimately always want to do, and be in service. And that's really kind of what I was searching for a long time. So that was going well. Then quarantine hit. I had nothing online. I had not a website. My clients had like a little handheld app booking link. That was it. That was the only way to kind of get in touch with me, right?
Wow.
Quarantine hit like everybody else. It was crazy, and we were all forced to pivot and rethink the business, right?
Yeah.
I made this silly little TikTok because everybody was like, "Oh my God, TikTok!" And I was like, "I'm not going on there." Like, no way. And all of a sudden, I started, and I was having so much fun. I was making TikToks with my son. Like, we were loving the TikTok life, right? And then I did this video with one of the ice spheres, and it just went like nuts, right? It went insane. People were like, "What?"
It's because as you do this, because I don't want to waste.
Yes, I like it. I love it. Ice away. Ice the whole time. It's amazing. So I was like, oh my God, how do I get this to people? Because I used to use them on my clients during facials. I would always use it. And it was a technique that I learned a really, really long time ago. And it really does help to depuff. It helps to calm. It helps blood circulation, helps to tighten. Nothing will help to shrink your pores, but it will help to tighten them for the time being. I also used to do makeup. So I used to use it on people before I did makeup. You know what I mean? Things like that. So I then decided to kind of rearrange my business structure a little bit and go full force. Because I still wasn't seeing clients with these ice spheres. And so I created my big kit.
Which I have to say is some of the most beautiful packaging I've ever experienced.
It's
like the whole thing
luxurious.
It's luxurious, and it's really an experience. And because you're doing something for your skin, it's like it just takes it to the next level.
Thank you. And that's exactly how I wanted it to feel. And that's how I wanted people to receive it. And that is how, I wanted, because listen, I've had people be like, oh, but it's ice. And it's really not just ice. Like it's skincare. It's actual clean, healthy skincare ingredients like that.
And you have these things, which are the coolest. Can we talk about these for a minute?
Yes. So these are the little, we call them so many different things. Or like at first they started out as like the little things with the cap. So yeah, they're the magic, right?
Yeah,
what
they're like magic capsules.
Different, exactly, yeah. And they are, my proprietary blends of clean ingredients: coconut milk, coconut water. There's oatmeal in some. There's collagen. There's chamomile. There's hyaluronic acid. I mean, there's so many. Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, and it's like, because I'm done now and I'm going to go put mine away, but I haven't been wiping it away. I'm just letting my skin is that what I'm supposed to be doing?
Which is totally fine. Was that the pink one? I think
I'm using the pink one.
So, okay, so you can do one of two things with the pink one. You can rinse it off, and I say to, just because I don't want like people to think that, they can leave it on all the time, and you can, but you'll feel it kind of tighten a little bit.
Yeah.
And like as it dries, so it's supposed to kind of act as a mask. I have done it kind of underneath makeup and left it on underneath makeup. It has its moments where it can make the makeup pill a little bit, but if you're just doing it under like a sunscreen or something, it's all clean, healthy ingredients. There's nothing in it that's going to harm you. There's no wrong way to do this, is how, like, it's fun. It feels good. You know what I mean? But yes, but that's a great question and something that people ask me all the time. And I'm always like, there's really no wrong way to do it. You're not going to get hurt by doing any of this.
By doing that. There's the pink, which is hydration, white oxygenation, gold is restorative. Mm-hmm. Is there a different system for each one, or is it kind of the same process?
Well, so I mean, it's pretty much the same process for each, but each is going to do a different thing. Kind of how, you have your serum and you have your moisturizer and you have, and even sometimes if they all have, like, because it's different formulations. So even if they have sometimes similar ingredients, even, which these don't, they're all doing something different, Yeah. So in the little kits, which I actually do not have, but in the original version of this, which I'm still selling as well, but those were only like green tea and turmeric, you know what I mean? I've since upgraded the formulas. So there's spirulina. I mean, it's, and I really, really made sure to concentrate on ingredients that I loved and that in formulas that I was using on my clients in facials. And it just, people lost their minds. And I was so grateful for it. And it's like, I've been doing this forever. How, like, what? You know what I mean?
It is. I mean, it's an at-home facial. Yeah. You feel like you have a spa experience. You can feel the difference. You see the difference right away. And I had told you this story before, but I want to tell it now again for the viewers. The first time I saw this magical ice sphere was in the supermodel Irina. I always pronounce it wrong.
Irina Shayk. Yes.
Oh, yes. When she was on Vogue Italia, sharing what her skincare routine was, and she was actually icing during it. And I went on this crazy search to try to find the product, because I missed the part of the live where she shared your name. And I was like, what is this? It took me forever. And then kind of crossed. You responded to something on Modern Muse. I freaked out. July is like, Nicole and I have been friends for 10 years. Which is just how the world works when it's supposed to.
Synchronicity of it all. I love it all.
Yeah. And now it's Women's Health Week and we're talking about clean beauty. And I just don't think that there's another product out there that's as clean and as natural and is actually fun to incorporate into your day.
Well, thank you.
It's truly awesome.
I want to add to that too, is that you're not promising, and you said this to us in our when we FaceTimed the other day, that you're not like saying, hey, this is going to take this is going to change everything. You're not doing that. This is a beautiful ritual. It helps in certain ways, but we're not selling you, we're going to take all your wrinkles away. And I appreciate that. I really do, because and I think it's a good conversation. Like, we have to learn to understand that aging and being a woman, and it's okay. It's okay to have the occasional wrinkle and the lines, and as long as we're taking care of ourselves and we're taking care of ourselves emotionally and mentally around these conversations that we're taught to, or that we're that we're being forced to kind of see ourselves like we have to stay young and we have to like these conversations. And I love that you're not one of those companies that's like pushing that narrative.
Thank you. Thank
Why
you.
is that important to you?
Very, very much.
Yes.
I love that you brought that up and that this is part of this conversation, because I think that that is such a huge thing. You know, even when I see my clients and I hear them kind of, complain about, I have clients who before they even lie down, I have the worst skin in the world. I have terrible, and I'm like, you have beautiful skin. Like you know what I mean? And sometimes the image of what we see or what we think, 40-year-old or 50-year-old skin should look like and feel like and behave. And we think we're going to use this one cream and it's going to, like, it doesn't work like that. It's not supposed to work like that. And it's not healthy to think it's going to work like that. Mm-hmm. Like, and that, for doing this for so long and hearing the stories and the complaints from so many people, and, just being like, well, this isn't working and this isn't working, because the companies are promising you that it's going to take care of, every single issue you feel about your face or your hair or your whatever, and it's just so unrealistic and it's so unfair to, to place that upon the consumer or upon the woman. And that's why, that like this is, it's wonderful because it is a ritual and it does contain beautiful ingredients and it does help and it does feel amazing and it wakes you up like nothing else in the world. Like that I must say. and Zule, you will see soon and you will be like, oh my God, where's my eyes, please? Because
I'm already there with it, just the deep thing and just the way that it feels in the moment. It's like a wake up. I mean, I told you this also on our call. My boyfriend loves it too.
Yeah,
I think he uses it more than I do. I'm being serious.
I love that, and that's like men have skin too. Men get puffy too. Men get tired. Men get, and it's just something like easy that they can kind of like grab like and just be like, oh, that. But the thing that's interesting, kind of piggybacking off quickly what you said also, is that you almost kind of like, even if you're making your coffee, or it forces you to be present for a second.
Yeah.
Right? Like it kind of forces you to be like, whoa, like that, like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? You can't really think about anything else except that the cold and except the fact that you're waking up and your kind of your skin cells are becoming alive. You can't really focus on too much more. So it kind of shuts off your brain for a second while waking everything up.
It's like, it's a mindful practice.
Yeah.
And you feel different. Like immediately there's a difference between before and after, and then even the after, like kind of warmth, you're
glow,
like,
and I mean, I used to stand on my head, not even kidding, and it's a really good way to kind of bring the blood, not that I encourage anyone, if you want to go for it, but it's a really good way to bring the blood flow and kind of bring that flush and that healthy new blood to the surface of the skin, other than just by doing like a 5-minute massage or something. But this kind of gives you the same exact result in like 10 seconds.
Right. Your instant glow.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how you source your products? Because I know that's another excellent area that you are just very mindful.
Yes.
On how you source all of your blends and stuff.
All of my blend. Yeah. I mean, all, fair trade, ethically sourced. I mean, there's no byproducts in anything. There's no filler. There's no, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. It is what it says it is. And it's all, as far as I can, if I can help it, it is all 100% organic. It's very hard to find like an organic hyaluronic acid or something like that. So stuff like that isn't, but from the natural ingredient side, that's super important to me. And it's super important to me what we're putting on our skin, how we're putting it on our skin, what we're expecting it to do, and just the education behind where skincare started, you know what I mean? And like how far we've come, but also where it started, from the ancient Egyptians and from milk and from honey and from all these beautiful things. And now I am also an esthetician, and I do believe in the chemical counterparts sometimes that you need things created in a lab for the natural ingredients to work better and do what they're supposed to do in a safe, healthy way.
Oh, yeah. Speaking a little bit more on clean beauty, are there any other tips of, if we want just radiant skin, obviously we don't want to shift it, but are there any other like clean, non-toxic tips that you love for skin?
I mean, obviously ice with the, but I was kind of known for, especially when I lived in California, like my friends would call me and be like, oh my God, what do I do? Like I have, I broke out, or I'm puffy, or I'm whatever. So, just literally like making a mask out of like honey and spirulina. Now, again, it's not going to change your life. Like the old school egg white mask, like sometimes those old school things that like mom taught you or whoever taught you, they still hold true and they're there for a reason. It's not going to get down deep to the layers where we need it to get down to make a huge significant change, but it's going to do enough where you can kind of fight that bacteria, or you can kind of tighten the skin a little bit, or you know what I mean? And I love things like that. Like, there's a reason sometimes that products are in certain, that ingredients are in certain products, and that's what's doing the heavy lifting. So if like the turmeric is what's doing the heavy lifting in the anti-aging, whatever, like then let's just get the turmeric and figure, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's kind of as simple as that when you're making a mask, or when you're making, some other, I do prefer things like that to be in like mask form. And I love all kinds of oils, all kinds of, as long as the blends are created to, again, be safe and be healthy, because sometimes clean does not always mean, or sometimes the base formula, like if you get like, a lavender oil, or if you get a tea tree oil, you can't put those things on your skin at 100% concentration. You can hurt yourself. So I feel like that needs to be out there. Like people need to understand that you need a carrier oil. Grapeseed oil is my favorite oil in the whole entire world.
Grapeseed oil.
Grapeseed oil.
Yep. The antioxidant compounds in it are just amazing. It absorbs beautifully. It doesn't leave you greasy. It's So that's one of my favorite clean kind of non-toxic things for the whole body. For
you would you use the grapeseed oil as the carrier oil and then mix in some other things? Is that?
Yes. Essentially, that's what you should do. If and again, I don't always recommend formulating your own things at home,
right?
Because something you can get, but aloe is a great other thing to use. I do have like a video about, and I did try and kind of make like an aloe compilation of this, but it's really hard. So I can just show you how to do it. Like you literally just scrape the aloe out and put it in a blender with some water, and you freeze it in the sphere, and you have an aloe ice. Oh yeah. It's beautiful.
Aloe right now.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
Really hydrating.
I didn't even think about that, because in addition to your formulas, you can create your own. I didn't even, of course, but that's so fun. Like, especially if you're like traveling and there's different things available.
Exactly. And with traveling, I have so many clients because now we're starting to travel. And so many people who have bought them that they're like, literally, I cannot not take this with me everywhere I go. And they're like, I make sure that the hotel has a freezer so that I can, because if you're in the sun, or if you're, it just really helps. And that's another thing, as far as like pigment goes and picking up, pigment, keeping your skin cool is super important and a super vital part of not picking up pigment to a certain degree, or not making the pigment darker. So kind of icing your face every once in a while, or if you just come in from outside or you just got back from the gym, or and your face is hot, that heat that comes up from the inside, cooling it down this way helps so much with kind of calming down those pigment receptors, because your skin doesn't always know the difference between the sun and between like heat from like hot yoga or something. Yeah. Heat is heat.
I am one of those people that stays hot after like a hot yoga class for hours. And this is genius. I would think too, for like women going through menopause or hormonal changes, like I live with this.
I have clients who are like, where has this been on my life? On the back of the neck, and it's just like, because then what happens is they kind of almost forget that there's skincare in it, right? So I have women who wake up in the middle of the night and they're like, and it's like, oh my God. And they go and they do it and they put it on, they're like, and then I woke up in the morning And I was like glowing on my skin. And I'm like, oh, it wasn't just eyes there. I forgot. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's a double benefit. I love that you brought that up too, because that's something big that I'm going to start kind of talking about more and kind of pushing, because I do with my clients. And I think it's really important to get that out there, because I don't know why there's not more discussion on that.
No. And even like, Zulai is about to have her baby, and that of course is another thing that brings a lot of hormone changes and heat and sweat.
Yeah.
And breastfeeding, you sweat. Breastfeeding, that's amazing.
I would dare say it's another conversation that's taboo that we're going to challenge. I think we should do a whole thing for menopausal women.
I would love to.
I want to shift the conversation a little bit, because I know it's Women's Health Week, and I love that we are talking about the product. We love the product. We love the product.
Yeah.
But I wanna shift over to just you being an entrepreneur, and you've been doing this for a long time, and like now you found your niche.
Yes.
And you've put your time in. Not that you weren't successful before. You've obviously been successful, and you have your own salon, and you're even when you were here, I know that you were very highly coveted. Tell us some of the pitfalls that one can experience going through something like this, building a business from the ground up, and then all of a sudden finding your niche in this way. And it didn't come easy, I'm sure. And I know that it sounds like an overnight success, but it's not.
It's so funny. And I remember everybody saying in LA, and even when I was acting, and you don't hear it enough, like the overnight success is 10, 15, 20 years in the making. Like it doesn't just, people are like, oh, that person came out of nowhere. No, the person clawed their way to where they are. Trust me. and that's kind of exactly what's happened, and listen, I didn't go to business school. I don't have a business degree. I don't have, you know what I mean? And it was something that I saw my mom, who raised me as a single mom in the Bronx, and like, she just handled it. She just did it. She did what she had to do. And you see that, as a young child, and you kind of get that thought in your head, well, if she figured it out, there's nothing that I can't figure out. There's nothing that I can't do. You know what I mean? And she worked for a company full of men in the 90s, where she was like, no, my kid's sick. And they were like, we don't care. Like, then we'll fire you and get a man who doesn't have to go home to his kid. You know what I mean? Like, so I saw all that and felt all of it firsthand. So in starting this, I kind of never thought that anything was impossible. Like, it just, the thought never really entered my mind. Having said that, this has been the craziest year and a half probably of what's been going on. The beginning of this business was 10 times easier. It wasn't easy, but easier to manage than the growth of this business.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. And kind of learning how to, now I have employees, now I have warehouses, now I have, all these, I have spreadsheets, and I have Excel documents, and I have, and which for some people that might be great, it might be easy. That was not easy for me. It was not easy to learn. And it was, and being a mom and doing all of these other things and wearing all these hats and doing that all of a sudden it kind of, it forces you to ask for help. It forces you to know what you don't know. It forces you to be able to admit it. And it forces you to be okay with that, because you have to find somebody who does,
Yeah.
and learning how to delegate. I think there's a very interesting, I think like some people are, great at managing people, and some people are not, and I think you don't really know what that's going to be like until you're in it. And I was thrown into this so quickly, thankfully, and I'm so grateful for it. But it was like a dream come true, yet it was chaos and craziness and just fun and madness and tears and stress and, missing my baby and just all the things. It was really all the things. And I mean, like going literally weeks without like sleeping, because you wake up, you get 2 hours and you're like, no, wait, I have to do this and this, and sometimes you have to go, okay, hold on. What do I need? What does my soul need? What does my mind need? Because you're going to burn yourself out, and that's kind of where I am now. I'm at the, okay, hold on. I need to take a second. I don't have being okay with not saying yes to every single thing that comes across your plate. You know what I mean? Because you want the opportunity and you want the thing because you're like, this is amazing. And I'm so, hold on. You know what I mean? And I get very excited because this is my dream. It is literally like someone went, here's all your dreams at once. Figure it out. And you're like, I could do this. I'm fine. Totally fine. What are you talking about? And you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. But you figure it out. You figure it out. And if it's meant to be, it will. And if not, then something, you know what I mean? And you just really, I don't think I would have thought that way at 20. So I'm very grateful to be, in my 40s and to have the opportunity now.
Imagine having all of that thrown at you in your 20s. It would fail, right? Because you just don't. It's like someone said to me once, you're only given what you're ready for.
What you're ready for. Yeah. And I really do feel that way. I've had those moments so many times where it's like, wow, I would not have, I don't even think I would have appreciated it as much. I don't even think I would have saw the value in it. I would have saw it because I hadn't worked as much. I hadn't tried and failed at other things. I hadn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Felt all those things.
Failing is beautiful because it just propels you to the next stone, the next little,
Yes. And failing means you tried.
Yeah.
And all the things that I've learned, and we hear it in the books we read and the thing,
I mean, you were an actress, Nicole, for a long time. You kind of get used to failing a lot.
You do, and you really do.
You really do. And if you don't know how to fail and smile and keep moving, I mean, Julie, too, you know this too. You're an entrepreneur.
Really good at rejection. Yeah.
This is like, we do this for a living. So I think I love that you mentioned failure, because it's such an integral part of success. You can't have success without failure.
No. And you don't learn from anything. So
honest about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely. And like, I want to be on this journey and be open about it and be, because I am not one of those people to be like, yeah, like, look what I did. Like, no, this is hard. This has been hard.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful for the people that I have around me who I can learn from because, and having done so many different things and having tried what my soul was telling me to try, like, you know what I mean? And that's, I think, the biggest piece of advice I could ever give to anyone who would ever want it or listen to it is like your gut, like that instinct, that excitement, that like little doubt, that whatever. Doubt can sometimes be fear, and obviously we have to learn to tell the difference, but that you know what I mean? And you just, if you listen to the signs and listen to everything, it led me to LA, it led me to, which led me here, which led me there, which led me to, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. Everything led me to here. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Nicole, that is the best advice. And
this is such a nice conversation. I guess I've been wanting to talk about this. Thank you, guys.
No, it's really beautiful. And I think as women, we have that intuition, and it's a constantly healthy, beautiful thing to be reminded to tap into it.
Yes.
Because like you said, in life, in business, with families, with whatever, we get so much tossed at us. And I love that you brought up delegation, because for myself, that's been the hardest part of entrepreneurialism is, one, admitting, okay, I'm not very good at that. Someone else is going to be better. And two, actually trusting someone enough to handle it and to do it better. And it's like step back, stay, let it go, like handle it and learn something.
Know thyself.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true.
I want to add to that. And then I'm reading this book called The Conscious Parent right now.
Ooh.
And I got it as a gift. My beautiful friend Stephanie sent it to me last night, and I'm deep because it's so
good.
It talks about basically what you just said, but in a very just innate way that we have as human beings. Like, my daughter is already her own. She has her own blueprint. We all had our own blueprint from the beginning, and it really is up to us to just show up every day. For ourselves, yes, but also for our kids, and just there is a blueprint there. And if you learn to listen, and if you sit still with yourself and you explore it, it will tell you everything.
Everything. So
Yeah.
chills everywhere. Yes.
Yeah.
Me too. I have the chills too.
And I'm
It's so
so
beautiful.
happy you're reading that now, and you're thinking about that part of cultivating her life, you know, which is so beautiful. And she's feeling that all inside, and she's listening, and she's, you know,
Yeah.
and it's so true, and it's so amazing. And as women, like you guys have said, tapping into that intuition is even more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything, you know, and if we just stay open and listen.
Yeah.
Guys, we love you too. Shout out to all the men listening.
We do. Oh my God.
We love you too. You guys are amazing and cool too. We need you.
Yeah, but what I find, well, we of course we love men, but men are typically able to look at something and get from A to Z in a direct path, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women, we look at A to Z and we have a million things to multitask in between.
Which is to be it all. Right.
Yeah, which is why that reminder to sit still and just listen is so important. And it's so true. It's like, stop running around, sit down, listen, and you'll have your answer.
Give ourselves the permission to sit down and listen.
There you go.
To sit down and stop, because as a business owner, as a mom, as a human being, sometimes in the world that we're in the instant gratification world that we live in,
right?
Like, you know, if something isn't answered or done or given in the matter of a second, this is men, women, anybody, you know, people flip out, and I've had people like, I don't respond in like, you know, a few hours, and people, I'm going to post something on Instagram. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's really a weird, different world that we're living in now with that instant gratification thing. And I think giving ourselves the permission to not always be available to everyone, to our children, to you know, whoever, you have to take a second so you can tap into that part of you and listen. You know,
what is your outlet? How do you tap in? Do you meditate? What is your...
So it depends. And I have to be honest, in the past probably month or so, I haven't, but my outlet was like a sauna, infrared sauna. I was like, I can't think of the word. Infrared sauna and a massage, because my neck is broken from the years of facial. Yeah. And it's like, it used to be, I could do like 10, 12 people a day. And now I do one, and my neck's like, oh, we remember this. We're just going to kick back into the pain. So I try to do something for my body as well as my mind. I gain the confidence to say, please do not speak during my massage. I would like to, you know what I mean? Rather than trying to please the person. The service. You know, it took a lot. That was hard. Yeah. And I don't want to offend you. This is my time, and my time is very precious. And I need to go out of my head and into my body. And that's kind of what I do. So that's my outlet right now.
That's beautiful. And I want that in my life.
To tell my next masseuse, hey,
I'll say like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to fall asleep. I'm really tired.
Right.
And I'll be like, oh, okay. But I do just like the directness of like, hey, I'm not going to talk.
You know, and we got to be okay with it. And for me, what became easier was when my clients started saying it to me, I'd be like, oh, thank God. Now I know.
Right. You weren't offended. You were.
I was like, oh, good. You got it. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't want to talk to you if you don't want to talk back. If you want to relax, I want you to relax. So that kind of started to help it too. But yeah, I'm telling you, do it.
Funny, all the things that we're conditioned to think that we have to do. My goodness, and this conversation can go in so many different directions.
I know.
I could talk for hours.
We're just so conditioned to always please and be in a place of and it's really, you know, and I'm learning those lessons, those boundaries now too. Like, I have so much on my plate. Like, not sometimes, I say no a lot now to a lot of things. Because I have to, because if I don't, I won't have the energy for myself and I'll be burnt out. And by the way, you know, let's not pretend our work will suffer.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Will suffer because we're not building boundaries. So it should be something that we just build into our communication with friends, with family. I mean, it should just be second nature to us by now. And it's still a conversation. Here we are. Here I am still saying, I need to tell my masseuse.
Right.
And yeah.
This is the truth. Like what you're true. And the crazy thing is, it's like, it's not offensive. It's not, you know what I mean? And it's okay to take your time. But again, I think that also comes with age or our generation or something. I don't, you know what I mean? Because I think the younger generation might be a little bit different, and they might be better at that than we ever will be.
I think you're right on, Nicole, that in this new age of accessibility, we forgot healthy boundaries, because on one, you know, and on one area it's showing, oh, I am accessible all of the time, right? Whether it's Instagram or whatever. And all of these tools are great, right? Like,
I would not have the career that I do right now without.
We built brands based on social media, right? So sure, there's negative parts, but I don't really see it. I'm kind of like, cool, you know, this is awesome. We can communicate. But yeah, on the opposite side, it's just a reminder to set those healthy boundaries, and that boundaries are good and people actually like them. And the people in your lives are like, oh, thank you.
Exactly. And that is it. People want to know that it's okay, because then it gives them the okay to set their own boundaries.
Yeah.
Boundaries
I can say that.
That's a way of expressing self-love.
You said boundaries are a way of self-love. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
absolutely.
To sit with the notion, I'm important too. You know, like your time is important to me, but I count too. You know, and that has to, and in the world, especially where we live in from a female perspective, we are expected to do all at the moment. I think the tide will shift a little bit, but where we are is the pendulum is kind of, oh, you know, okay, so the woman is still going to do it all, even more than whoever it was supposed to. Not, you know what I mean? That's a conversation for another day.
Well, I think that we should do a series of these conversations, especially like menopause. Talk about pimples. You know, there's so much care around clean beauty, and you're such an expert in that. I say we continue this dialogue. But for right now, how do people contact you, and how do they order these amazing spheres?
So between the hours of 9 and no,
yeah, exactly. What are your boundaries around that?
I promise I will. And I'm so grateful for it. Like I said, the overwhelming response to this has been more than I could have ever dreamed. And there's more things coming on the way, and it's been fun and exciting. So if anyone wants, they can obviously find me on at Nicole Caroline Skin, which is my Instagram and my Facebook, or NicoleCaroline.com, which is my website. Info at Nicole Caroline. I mean, you name it. Put in Nicole Caroline, you'll find me everywhere. So,
and we'll list it in the interview. We'll list it as well. But for anyone watching, I want them to be able to get it right away.
I'm so proud of you, Nicole. Like, and you just seem so full of life even when you talk about it. It's so inspiring to see. I'm so happy you found something that's so you, and that you believe in, and that you can. I mean,
wait.
Oh, she paused. Are you there, honey? She paused, but we can continue until it comes back on. But I know what she was saying, the sentiment of just being so proud of you. And I know you guys have known each other for 10 years. Yes. And I'm sure, you know, she's been able to watch the growth, but I am just so happy to find you. My skin is so happy to have discovered you.
And I'm so happy to have met you, and to see where, you know, Zulay has gone in her life and her path and her. We had a conversation, and when, I don't know if she can hear, she can probably hear this because she's frozen at the moment. But just about the happiness and the joy around motherhood, around pregnancy sometimes, and you know, oh wait, here she is. She back?
Maybe we'll just keep going until she's able to. But
just, you know, the joy that she was feeling, and I had the same feeling with my pregnancy as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got pregnant later in life, and you know, it was something that I was just so enamored by, and it was just such a beautiful experience, and it really helped me feel confident in my womanhood. You know, there was just something about it. And like we had a conversation about that, and she kind of felt the same way. And it was a really beautiful conversation.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, let's schedule more of these.
Let's
Give it to the future.
Let's do it. I think my ice sphere has melted a little bit.
By the way, do you do this like twice a day, multiple times, or just whenever?
So again, it kind of depends. I like to do mine in the morning. It just does wake me up when I have time to, which when I was in quarantine, doing, you know, a sheet mask and then doing it over a sheet mask and, you know, doing kind of like a whole longer ritual.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And there'll be videos kind of coming and stuff like that about that. And there's, like I said,
great.
a lot of exciting things going on and a lot of exciting additions being added to some of the kits and things and announcements and fun stuff that we will talk about when we can. And I'm just super excited. And like I said, just so grateful for everyone who has used it, loved it, trusted me and my 20 years of knowledge and figuring it outness. And I'm just really grateful.
And it works. And I can't wait to try, like you talked about the aloe and you know, rose water. I can't wait to mix it up.
Yes, I will send you the video. I will repost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Thank you so much.
Julie, thank you.
I
love you. You are
love you
somewhere.
Yes, I know wherever she's at home freaking out, being like,
Yeah, I know.
Again, internet, it gets us every time.
I'm telling you, I had none. I had literally none for an hour. I was like, why? But this was beautiful. Thank you so
beautiful.
much.
Okay, we'll talk to you very, very soon.
Okay.
And I'll be over here icing.
Yay. And I'll be over here refreezing because I
Perfect. Have the best day. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.